Welcome to the stream. Bada boo ba boo. I'm joined tonight by my beautiful wife. She's over there, but you can see her. Kim.
Yeah, what you said. Bada boom. Boom, boom, boom,
Ba
boom,
boom.
boom, 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 boom.
So, I'm just going to be working on a couple different paintings tonight. Just doing a series of ones for Patreon, really. So this one here, I just was messing with today. Right here. And then the other one I was working on is this one here. You can see I'm painting some Yoshi eggs behind them with these little warrior birds here hanging out. I don't know if you can get a good look at these guys. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on tonight. As always, if you have any sort of questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will say hello. Listen,
I'm really good at reading.
if you were thinking like, whoa, last week Dave was having sick farts. What was that? Well, this week I do not have that, or else Kim wouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
She's right there.
Welcome back. Welcome back to me.
Welcome back to the world of the real. All right. Here we go. All right. I just decided, I had this like portrait I was doing, and then I just felt like it was a little boring, so I started painting octopus tentacles wrapping around them. Why? I don't know.
Because you expected snakes. Typical.
You think so?
Not you. The audience.
I just thought
I think octopus is
Asian.
cool. We just went to an Asian antique store, so it's on Dave's mind.
It's very true. So it's actually pretty cool. It got like a couple hundred potentially year-old Chinese apothecary medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can't see it, but it has all my art supplies in those little slide-out rectangular boxes.
And there's so much space still.
It rules. It's like the coolest thing I've gotten from my office so far as practical storage goes. It's so great. And I thought, I was like all...
You didn't even use half of it, right?
No, not even half. I was all excited to use my negotiating powers because I like getting deals. I didn't have to do any of that. It was the weirdest experience. We just went into the antique shop. They had like...
A huge sale because they have an over...
Yeah, the floor is full of stuff. But it was really funny because I was just like, yeah, we want this and this. And then they're just like, okay, we can take this much off. Like, just without saying anything. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Really? That's it?
Piece. And they're like, actually, if you get more, I'll give you more discount.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, why are you leading with this? Like, why are you... Maybe they're just anticipating that we're not gonna buy anything.
Yeah.
So they're just like, please take anything and everything.
I feel like the body should be more feminine.
What are we talking about?
on your painting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a dude.
I know.
What do you mean by feminine?
Like, he's too strong looking.
Oh, I'm basing it off of like a statue.
Okay.
Like this Chinese statue. It's like pretty ripped. It's like this. I don't know what it signifies or anything. I didn't do any research. I just saw this cool reference and I was like, oh, that's a nice. It's like this kind of like almost bronze that got. I mean, it's not actually bronze. It's like a dark steel looking thing or rock. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of looks like bronze with like a, like when it oxidizes.
bronze or
I mean copper when it oxidizes.
like our
But
patinas?
like it gets a little like, yeah, it gets a little like,
greenish
except a little
blue?
darker than that
Oh yeah.
with like a gold mask. And I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah. That's really pretty. I just realized you can see me in your camera.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, cursed objects for sure. Did you say what the translation was that the guy said?
No, I
Have you
didn't.
said that yet?
Did you want to say it?
No, you say it.
Well, the dude who delivered the medicine cabinet, he was saying that he's like, I liked these. He's like, I I've had my eye on these. He's like, I actually use my Google Translate at my phone to see what some of the little cabinets said on them, and apparently there's ones for like monkey paws and stuff like that. I mean, there's all the things that you expect, but then there's more intense ones like monkey paws in there. And I was like, hell yeah, some antique haunted monkey paw cabinet. I'll take 2. I wanted 2.
We just don't have the space.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to put
That's
it.
kind of crazy. What is the inspiration for this, Dave?
Nothing. Just saw a cool reference, and I wanted to do something weird for the Patreon. I'm just doing a variety of things. I'll show you a couple of the other ones that I've worked up that are done. I just want the next Patreon post to be super meaty because it's been so long. So you're going to have a bunch of high-res paintings that you can just have. and yes, I'll have like walkthroughs and layered PSDs. This is one of them. The cat was the other one, and then another one's the Common Rider one I did. I want to let me mute my screen, black my screen out, and then I'll pull it up so you can see it. 'Cause I like the way that one came out.
Riley has a question about this painting.
Uh-huh.
What if you moved those chains and there was some shiny, juicy, filler-filled lips? Then a feminine body would definitely suit this.
Yeah, I actually had like a mouth under there, like teeth and stuff, and it was all gnarly. But it was too much. I didn't like it that much.
It should have some juicy lips. Looks pretty.
This was the Common Rider that I did for the Patreon. Just another one of the paintings. I like this one. This one I had like a pretty clear idea of before I started painting it. And I thought it'd make a good like horizontal print.
Dave, although when it comes to the chrome brush, I wonder how you make tight ink drawing. I heard you make modifications to the brush, but I just use it as it is. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, I just set it to that lowest, the smallest pixels, 1 pixel, and I'm using the chrome thin without the color jitter on. That's about it. Otherwise, like everything that I've ever heard anybody say as far as like stuff they're getting used to with it, like let me just tell you that it just, again, I can't say it enough, it takes a long time to get used to that brush. I wasn't crazy about it for like a while. I just stuck with it because I could see that other people were doing great things, and I was like, ooh, that looks cool.
What music did you end up putting on?
Just like a rap mix. Okay.
Ryan wanted to know what we thought of Black Marrow.
Of what?
Of the comic book that he sent us.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Your actual like execution of it. I love the lettering, by the way. Like a lot of people kind of, I mean, like me in particular, and a lot of people who make their own thing, they kind of skimp on the lettering. And I could tell that like you brought somebody on who does it for a living, and it was really good. I loved how expressive that was. I loved your main character. Yeah, the way that you had like the expressions on that character was really great, and your consistency in execution throughout the book was really nice. Your action was great.
We were talking about the texture too. I had told him
the way like the ink is sitting on top of the page. I could tell that you, when you sent that out for print, you had separated that, which was smart. We don't do that with Steve because it's so complicated for how huge it is. Like, I just don't even bother with that. But the effect of it is really nice. And I could see why, that's something that most people aim for if they're doing like a really nice print. It came out great. Other than that, I just think the fact that you executed the whole thing is really commendable. Just like going through, knocking out a whole comic that you own yourself, that you just put a ton of work into. I know how much effort goes into that, so I have nothing but respect for anybody that can do that.
And
the only reason that name didn't connect with me, by the way, is because I didn't read the whole thing. I just went through and looked at all the artwork, and I was like, I looked at the front and I was like, Black Mirror. I was like, what's that? Like in relation to the story, I was like, I don't know.
Dave had one complaint.
Oh.
And it is a valid one. It's a constructive criticism. All of that effort and like all that hard work, and your title's not on the spine.
Yes.
And so when it sits on the shelf, you can't, there's no hint at it. So like if you're thinking about ever selling or being in a bookstore or anything like that, it would be easy to gloss over that one because there's no title.
Yeah, that was my, like, I didn't notice it until I put it up on my shelf, and then I was like, wait a second, where'd that book go? I was like, that's not good. Like, I get that you probably didn't have much room on the spine, but I would have put something there.
Hi, Maddie. Koji says, Dave, are you ever going to take in Patreon Skype calls?
No. Probably not. I mean, like, do like a helpline? If I had a ton of time, maybe that could be fun. Oh, I did say yes to doing a live thing, not online, but it's going to be for Colorado University.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be cool. So I'm doing something. Where I talk to people directly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be out of college. Somebody just reached out to me and they were like, hey, you want to come out and say hello? And I was like, hey, you're right down the street. Sure.
Koji said it would be like Howard Stern.
No thanks. Where I just try and find disabled people to call in and make fun of them.
Yeah, it feels... I know. think we just missed the branding a little bit on that. It's not quite Dave's brand.
I bring homeless people in off the street, make fun of them while I do art.
I'd call in for the next room and harass you.
I like that that's genuine, Kosher. You said just a suggestion. It's like, you know that art stream you do where you paint monsters and stuff. Have you ever thought about doing a Howard Stern radio show? It's just really funny. Do the opposite.
Hey, it's not working for you. Do something else. Just, if you ever need any ideas, because this is kind of boring.
It's not impossible for me to get comedians.
It would be Rush Limbaugh.
I have like a tiny bit of relationship with some big-ish comedians that I could just bribe them to come onto a stream where I paint. Surprise,
it's me. I'm the big-ish comedian.
Yeah, we should do Rush Limbaugh.
That's so stupid.
You just say wild shit about immigrants.
Yeah. Easy.
Then when people come at you, what? I'm a child of an immigrant.
I'm first generation American.
I can say horrible things. I'm allowed to.
I know some of them.
I can say that.
I came from one of them. You could do that thing where you used to rate women's bodies, but you could frame it as an art critique. I don't like how you drew these titties so small. Oh, that's just how she looked? The painting gets a 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me this is 100% accurate? I don't know. I don't believe it.
No thanks.
No way. No one's titties are that small.
Okay. Let's do it. More tentacles.
That's true. Riley said there is room for a new InfoWars now. You could always do that. InfoWars was purchased.
Or their assets were purchased by The Onion.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. It is the funniest thing you could do if you were The Onion, though.
Maddie gets Patreon Zoom meetings. You can't expose your perks like that, Maddie. Then everyone will want them.
Yeah, they go. Because I'm getting a job interview soon. Can you help? Walk through it.
Maddie has private perks because she's my friend. She's my bestie. I can't wait to see the level of trolling that's coming.
I could do that if I decided to completely burn my whole professional career and just go completely Garfield hentai mode. I could easily do the Howard Stern version. of this. I have it in me. I'd have to be a character and not really believe any of the things I'm saying. But I could do it. If I did it the way like we write Steve, I could do it. Would it destroy me inside secretly? Yes, it would.
Chip away at your soul.
Just me crying, making fun of some new artist who's starting out. Sorry, guys. It's that time of year. Seasonal bullshit.
What's the status of your comic? I want to know, too.
I mean, I pretty much just slowed completely this past, like, 2 months. What it really needs to come back to is me just doing those portraits again. So I'll write that down or make a note of it because I just need to do it. I forgot, honestly, that was the thing I was needing to do. I've just been so distracted. But I did just finish my big deadline that I'd been on forever. So that's something. That comic is done.
You guys saw him finish it. And then, did you do any of the lettering on?
No, nobody's seen the actual lettering.
Nobody's seen this story. So.
No. I didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I want people to read it as like the
Whole thing.
The full cool presentation of it.
He's pretty cool looking. I'd get that for our garden.
This one?
Mm-hmm. And then, like, if that mouth was just like a place I could put a candle and it flickered through the chains.
Yeah.
That'd be a really cool garden statue. And an entrance to a maze where you have to solve riddles. We need to put all of that in our backyard.
Okay, we can do that. Dave did not go to art school. No.
I was asking if you did and if you could break down how like the classes worked.
Yeah, I did not.
Dave, who are your top 5 artists of all time?
Beetlejuice, Howard Stern. What are mine? Let me think. Personally, I guess
Probably me.
Kim, Paul Bonner's up there. Ilya Repin. I really like Ian McKegg's stuff. Leyendecker. Atomo. Who else is real good? There's so many incredible artists. It's hard to choose. Just like I can choose like artists from specific genres and like have a bunch from each one. I don't have like a top of the mountain for any one general artist banner. It's like it's kind of everybody in different subgenres. Like I was just looking up at like Yoshitaka Amano. Like I'm not a massive fan of everything that he's been doing like lately, but a lot of his work is very impactful for me.
Dave, what was your process like for learning art outside of a school?
At what?
Outside of a school.
Just looking for any and all resources. online and talking to a ton of artists and asking questions. It was more or less a process of realizing that like art was a possible, was like a viable job. I needed to talk to people to make it real, basically, because when I was starting out, there wasn't a huge resource for seeing artists work. Like I couldn't really go onto all the sites that exist now, or even beyond like Instagram and social media, whatever, seeing everybody's work. That wasn't normal. Like it wasn't really available. There was like a couple forums, so I think it was just getting an idea of how people worked was pretty big. So back then there were forums where you could look at people's progress through years of studying. Like you could see like their daily updates, and that was really important to me because I got to see where they started and where they ended up. That was the big one. And then outside of that was like, how did they study? And I think one of the big takeaways with that was seeing that there's no perfect way to study. That was like the big thing for me, was that like, oh yeah, there's not one way that everybody does it. There's this big variety. And then I also took away from that like lots of people would tell you to study a certain way, and then you'd realize that these are people who weren't doing anything. They were just trying to like control how other people did things. And once I started to kind of like cut through all that crap, I just went, okay, so there's no perfect way to do anything. As long as I'm moving in a positive direction, that's really what I'm going to aim for, as opposed to trying to do some one singular approach. And I feel like that was a bit liberating for me, because it just felt like I'll find my own road, Like I don't need to follow somebody else's exact path. And I just ignored everybody who, like when I did streaming and I would share my process or like, what I was studying at the time, and I'd get pushback from people being like, you're studying the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. I just ignored them, and I was like, well, you're not studying at all, so who gives a shit what you say? And then I would just keep on working and working and working. And then just by virtue of trying so much, I figured it out. Like I started to really get a grasp on how to study and what worked best for me. And that whole thing people talk about like 10,000 hours to do any one thing. I'm not saying that's necessarily real, but it is a good like rule of thumb. It's going to take forever. So I just put in the hours, and I tried to be intentional about what I was studying, that I was following a route that would cover fundamentals. I made sure to apply my studies all the time. And that was really it. It's like I didn't do things without intention. I had intention going into all of these things I wanted to get better at. And I just did my best. I didn't always do great every single day, but that wasn't the point. The point was that I showed up and I started. I did one more than everybody else who just said it was too hard. And I think that's the most important thing. Like I hear it all the time now in like cringy TikTok real motivation stuff. So it's kind of just like corny at this point. But there's a lot of truth in the idea that moment where you feel like quitting is a moment that a million people have faced. And the only thing that separates you from all the people who didn't do it is that you keep going even though that moment sucks. Like that happened to me so much where I just wanted to stop doing art. I was like, fuck, I'm seeing no improvement. This is bullshit, and I'm never going to be great like everybody else. You have all this negative self-talk shit, and I would have that over and over, and then I just had to say, no, everybody feels this way. Everybody shits on themselves. I see it all the time. It's just a matter of doing it in the face of that feeling. Just keep doing it. And that's really all I did. I just kept on doing it, and I kept on studying and working at it, and I made more and more progress, and I just started getting work and looking for work constantly, taking on every single job, never letting a job be above me, being humble, working beyond what people were paying me. If you want to hear like a lot more insight on this question you're asking, I'd watch the interview that I did with Marko Đurđević that's on my channel here. We go into like a lot of depth on that, and he's a really good resource for that too. Super accomplished artist.
Another question was, if you created an art school or class, what would be the progression layout that you might wish you had?
Progression layout? Mm-hmm. I guess it would depend on the level of the students, but because I'm not at the beginning of my career, so a lot of what I talk about is from the perspective of somebody who's been working for like 20 years. The fundamental one I feel like a lot of people could teach, but in terms of how I would approach that, it would be what I was talking about, studying with intention, not just studying everything and anything and just, fundamentals for fundamentals' sake. It would be studying the fundamentals and then applying the fundamental education. So it would be like, you're not just going to draw this one pose. You're also going to draw this pose in in like the context of an image that you want to do for an illustration or something. You're applying what you learned, or that you're doing it from imagination after doing it from reference. And then everything after that would be based on like specific goals that the artist might have, whether that be getting a job in the art, in concept art or film or whatever. All of those would have different, goals, different intentions with the work.
If you had to fight one person from history, who would it be? No weapons. And apparently cheap shots are allowed.
Fight one person from history? Amelia Earhart. I'd fight her as she tried to get in her plane. I'd stop! And I'd beat the shit out of her to stop her from getting in that plane.
Okay.
Save her life, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Nobody would get it after that, and once history had been changed. I'd be in jail, but I'd be the only one who knew.
Are there any of your contemporaries that you like to keep an eye on as far as watching the art they are making?
I'm always a Piotr Nikompinsky dude. I'm always looking at whatever he's up to. There's a lot of artists that are great right now that I'm just not like fluent in social media. I can't like pull everybody's name off the top of my head. I just see people constantly. It's crazy. I feel like when I started, I could almost name everybody that was working. Mm-hmm. There just weren't that many artists. There's so many more now. And there's a lot of work to be had, And once everybody kind of realizes the limitations of AI, we'll see a little bit of a opening for more work. But yeah, I can't name all the people that I really like, but Piotr's a good one.
Your rendering often looks gnarly. Is it a tree bark texture that inspired this, or rough like a stone, maybe?
Like a stone, for sure. It's supposed to be like kind of statue, like.
Maddie said she'd fight Helen Keller.
Oh, that'd be good.
I would die to see that. I would die to see that fight.
Who would you fight?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably my dad. Probably my teacher from 3rd grade. I don't know. It would have to be personal for me to want to fight them, I think. Maybe Albert Einstein. I fight Kim's dad. Yeah. You get it, Riley. Lucy the Cave Woman? Like the first... The link? The missing link? Is that what it is? Is that what Lucy is? I don't remember what she was. The first Homo erectus?
Yeah, it'd be cool to go back and fight like a dinosaur or something like that. Can you bring a camera back with you? You could bring a camera back and then fight a dinosaur or something like that. That would be pretty cool. And a boombox, just blast Linkin Park. Fight a dinosaur. Record it.
I've become so numb.
Just you getting eaten by a dinosaur to Linkin Park. Just nobody finds it. It's just frozen in amber.
You there.
Can you imagine if that was like the tape that was frozen in amber and like they found it and they're like, whoa, what? Somebody fought a dinosaur to Linkin Park? I think the government would have to destroy that footage. Which means it could have happened. Maybe it happens, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Limp Bizkit would be good too for that.
Don't even get me started.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot we're going to see Limp Bizkit.
I'm so pumped, you guys. I'm so excited.
It's so stupid.
I'm so excited to see Limp. The Bizkit.
That's so weird that we're going to see Limp Bizkit.
It's so stupid. I bought cargo pants that were way too big for us. I returned them, but it was hilarious. I'm gonna have to find something else to wear that's not as ridiculous, because it looked like if I showed up in that, it would have looked like I was making fun of everybody there. So that's what it would have looked like.
I feel like we're gonna be. Do you think anybody else is gonna be there doing what we're doing? Just like enjoying Limp Bizkit? in that way.
I think they bought tickets to Metallica, and Limp Bizkit happens to be opening. We bought tickets to Limp Bizkit. Just kidding.
We've already seen Metallica. We're gonna leave right after Biscuit. The only people in the whole show that just gets up and leaves.
Mm-hmm. Maddie said Fred Durst is kind of hot now. Not gonna lie. You're not wrong, actually.
It's true.
And it's so weird to see him super old coming out on stage and being like, "You're never gonna you know what I'm talking about, that voice.
Yeah,
what's one of his lines?
It's brat voice. Not gonna go to bed voice.
What is one of the songs that he sings? I don't even know his songs. I'm just so in love with like the performance.
That's so stupid. I'm so in love with the performance. It's like
who?
somebody who's never seen like
Limp
Cirque du
Bizkit.
Soleil or anything. There's just something about the performance. The artistry of a McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not shitting on Biscuit.
Look, there's a weird thing that happened after we had kids, and I think that, like, I never thought I would think that older men are attractive. And I'm like...
I didn't know what you were going to say.
It's that thing of, like, thinking, oh, I'm always going to think, like, maybe 20-something-year-old people are attractive.
Right.
But it's not that.
I thought you were going to say part of your postpartum depression was getting into Limp Bizkit.
No, that's the Renaissance for me. I'm in my Renaissance. I feel like you would try to make fun of them and accidentally just fit in perfectly. But I'm not doing it as a joke though. Like I actually like her. And so I don't want to make fun of it.
She actually wants to be there for it.
Oh yeah. Son said, remember Vanilla Ice? Him and I went to a bar in Highlands Ranch, not Denver, and we saw Vanilla Ice perform live. It was weird. Recently. Like maybe 12 years ago? I think that's recent.
I was going to say, recently.
Recent as far as like Vanilla Ice's career. And he was like hot. He was so buff.
Yeah, and he was
like,
swearing and screaming.
Yeah, and he was like it was really aggressive. He like rapped a lot of his music. It was weird, but it was so fun. Such a weird crowd of people to be there. And then he was promoting his HGTV show. I'm not kidding. That happened. He was like, check this out, like on these days, like I have a show. I don't know if you guys know this about me. And then he'd go into like, what was that song? The ninja song?
Ninja rap. Go ninja, go ninja, go.
But it was so aggressive.
He did ninja rap?
He did.
Like a scream version of it?
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Oh, and Ice Ice Baby, of course. I'm trying to see. I mean, not like, isn't he a rapper? Yeah, but it was like aggressive. It was like not the same type of music it was when it was first performed. Like,
Yeah, I remember when he went through that phase.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's still doing that.
I want to see if he has a new updated version.
I'm sure he does.
Because I bet you if you listen to the updated version, it's probably closer to like the style that I heard. Have you ever listened to Sugar Ray?
Wish I had.
Not intentionally. It's not like you can really avoid it.
Sugar Ray's not funny enough to
It was
like
literally everywhere though.
to like ironically enjoy it or even get like a good time out of it like that.
But it's one of those things that like pop culturally there wasn't like like as much saturation as there is now. Same with artists, right? Like you knew the like 25 songs that were popular on the radio. There's like such an influx of artists, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to keep. So I feel like you didn't have to really seek out Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray
found you. Sugar Ray was one of those things that was delivered by the Illuminati to you. It has made you hear Sugar Ray, even if you didn't want to. I told you, TRL, I don't like this. Well, somebody does.
Now what about Crazy Town?
That dude died, right?
Yeah. That's sad. No.
10 minutes of silence.
R.I.P. What was I gonna say?
That you loved that Crazy Town shit.
Oh no. I wanted to talk about what was your first concert? That's what I was gonna ask you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask me how many songs did Redman do with those Crazy Town and all those other
I was
dudes.
about to ask that, and then I was like, "There's no way he's gonna know that." Don't embarrass him on his stream.
There's
Don't
like a
ask
whole
questions like that.
There's like a whole subgenre of that like white rap rock where like either Redman or like one of those people joined in.
Yeah.
Or like Wu-Tang.
Maddie said, "What's a Sugar Ray song? Can you sing one? I don't want to pause the stream."
No.
I'm trying to think of one. Every morning.
No, we're good though.
Right? That's one of them?
I don't know.
That's
Yes.
Sugar Ray? If you don't know it by that, we can't be on the same team. I'm sure it's because that was so good. Jet Set to Anywhere said, "I converted a close friend into your cult."
What's the cult?
This is like when I said, "Do you want to be in my club in middle school?" and I bit kids on the shoulder. And there was no club. We never met. We never did anything. People just let me bite them.
And Kim thought she was getting one over on people when really just people were like, "Oh, a hot girl bit my shoulder. Thank God." She's like, "I'm getting one over on everybody."
Girls too. It was girls
And they were
who
like,
wanted to
"This
be
is
in my
great."
club. Girls let me bite them. I'm saying it wasn't just boys. It wasn't just like.
No, I know. Kim had a great idea for a movie about a group of people, a group of friends that hang out, and it's called Grope because she didn't know what group. I mean, she didn't know what grope meant. She just thought it had something to do with a group.
I was really little when
So,
I wrote this.
So it was called Grope. I'm gonna make that movie. It's gonna be like those, whatever that movie that what's his face Jonah Hill did, that like '90s skate movie. It's gonna be like that, and it's just gonna be called Grope.
It's so stupid. I wish I had it. I don't have any of my journals or like anything. I'd have to like really probably go through my parents' stuff. I think they threw everything away that had to do with me. I said, "Can I have my prom queen sash and crown or tiara, whatever?" And my parents were like, "Yeah, we have to find the sash." They fucking threw it away, you guys. They don't give a shit about me. They don't keep any memorabilia of me. There's no...
My daughter Kim, when she was my Vietnamese daughter Kim, you remember when she was little and she had green eyes?
Yeah.
They thought she had green eyes.
I'm telling you, Riley, your want to fight my dad is valid, along with mine. One of those bites was someone's awakening.
That's what I'm saying. Grope.
I'm so proud to be a part of that moment for them. Can't wait for Grope. That's what Maddie said.
Yeah. Grope.
I'm gonna cast you.
I just imagine like a Stand By Me trailer, like the '90s, where remember that guy who would do those trailers? He'd be like, Grope. But it would be like a really sweet trailer.
A bunch of kids walking around. One's holding a baseball bat over their shoulder.
Yeah, I want to see Grope too.
Chinese girls don't come with green eyes. You can't retract it. It's too late. I read it. EJ Fudd said that.
Yeah, that's from Big Trouble in Little China.
So good.
It's a great quote.
I thought you removed it because you were embarrassed. I'm glad you just fixed your typo.
No, Grope would be like one of those like kids movies. Like literally the movie Kids.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote it when I was literally a child. What do I know about anything except for kids?
Yeah. All right. I think I'm just going to leave this one like this. I don't know. Does that look cool? I mean, it's something.
No, I like it.
I don't know how
I was
cool
trying
it
to see
is.
it on the screen, but I can't really see it on your tablet. I can really only see it on the computer screen. It looks like really dark from over here.
While the baby make a slide, but mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God.
I still want to see what's under that mask.
It was literally just a jaw with like rotten teeth. That was what it was. But it wasn't cool enough, so I was like, eh. Like I wanted to have like an organic element to it, so that's why that was there. Hello, Chicago.
Maddie was just in Chicago.
Okay. I'm just doing like a texture wall background.
It's really pretty. We saw statues at that antique shop that were painted, and they were super vibrant but faded, like vibrant paint colors on stone statues, and like food dogs and all that. It was really cool. This is Dave's piece. This is not for. This is just for Patreon and right.
Yeah, I have like a handful of paintings going up on Patreon that I'm finishing up right now.
Did you ever do concept art for Doom?
I didn't do concept art for Doom, but I worked on the marketing art for Doom 3. Yeah, I work for ZeniMax.
Bye, Riley. Good luck with your Patreon.
Bye, Riley. Godspeed.
Bye, Riley. Granny speed. Turbo Granny.
Oh yeah, shit. We can watch the new one.
Yes, I've been thinking about it. What's the next big project? Any movie posters?
No movie posters. Well, there was one that was offered, but I didn't hear back after the initial kind of back and forth with rates and things. I'm not like really looking for any work right now. I have a potential like super long contract coming up. So I don't really want to take anything on unless that doesn't go through the way that it's been pitched to me. Because if it goes through the way they were hoping, then it would be a 6-month contract on a game, which would be cool. Because I like long stints of like working as a concept artist. It's fun for me to get like really deep into a project like that, become kind of like fluent in it. That's way more than enough time to really get a good idea of how you're gonna approach the project as a whole. So that's always intriguing. So hopefully that pans out. Other than that, I want to do Steve Lichman, get that done. I want to do my Starvale final script. I have a ton of material for it now, so I'm really looking forward to coming back to it. I've been thinking about it a lot, so that'll be cool. Yeah.
We need a stream where you and Kim swap tasks, like she paints in your place, or like you do that finish the drawing game. We should do a finish the drawing. I should finish your drawings. We were planning on doing a mouse trap sometime soon. We just don't have a date because we want to make sure that Dan can join us.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's working on a deadline right now too, and he has a life. So if he can't, we might just end up planning it anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I always feel like I have more time than I do. And then I just am like, holy shit, what's happening? How's this much time gone by?
My girlfriend and I do the finish the drawing game. Are both of you artists though? Because I'm not. I don't know if that wasn't apparent or if this is the first time you're joining. I am definitely not an artist, but you can be the judge when we do that game. Maybe what I'm doing is art. Who knows?
Yeah, we'd have to go back and forth where like sometimes you start.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun. Do the sketch and I'll finish it.
Yeah. Sharky Art said, Dan has stated in the past, I could be a stand-in for him. Have a fake beard and traumatic stories ready to go.
You could do that. Kim and I were going to start a new stream called Trauma Dumps, where we just talk about our past and take on the toilet. We just shit while we do it the
I
whole
don't know
time.
if you guys have caught on to a theme, if you guys are regular listeners, but I'm pretty sure Dave also pitched a restaurant a couple weeks ago about just sitting. Maybe this was privately, maybe this was on the stream.
I think it was private. So
about having a restaurant where you just sit on toilets and shit while you eat and call it, what is it?
you can figure it out.
Put your ass where your mouth is. Put.
No, that wasn't it.
I don't know. Shit where you eat. Is that what it was called?
No, I can't remember. It was a restaurant themed around people who are lactose intolerant. So it was going to be that you're sealed into a seat that is up to your waist and like, you know, has like a seal around your belly, and you basically can eat all of the cheese and milk products you want and not have to worry about having to get up to go to the bathroom every 2 seconds.
So stupid. And just be disgusting.
And of course the name was something highly marketable.
Obviously. It wouldn't be a pitch unless he was leading up to a pun of some sort. Or a joke. There's no actual business pitches going on in this house. Jokes only. Maddie says that I am an artist and not to sell myself short. Thank you, Maddie. This is my hype girl. And Son said that I can cook. We're hosting Dave's trainer and his wife for dinner. Do you want to tell them what I'm making?
Peruvian chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna make for dessert a panna cotta chocolate chip cookie dip.
Malted milk panna cotta with some chocolate chip cookies with walnuts.
Yeah, so like fancy grown up
Milk and cookies.
milk and cookies.
Yeah.
And I went, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, Peruvian chicken, and then I'm gonna make some cilantro lime rice and some Cuban black beans and some of the yellow sauce, the yellow pepper sauce, which I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce. And then, unless it's ají amarillo, but I don't think that it's that. I think that there's another name for it, and I have no idea how to say it. The one that starts with an H. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think I've spelled it to you.
Mm.
I need dating advice, Kim. When is an age gap too much? After 25, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Depends on the person. You have to ask yourself, as a man who is obviously older, asking this question. Do you keep falling for 20-year-olds? Maybe we need to ask ourselves why. Why are we not attracted to women our age? Is there a maturity level thing that's going on? Is there something deeper?
Or
there
do you
something
just
that's not
not want
fulfilled?
somebody who already has kids? Or
Yeah. What are you looking
What
for?
is it?
Are you looking for someone who's established? Are you looking for somebody who is starting out and you want to be in that phase of life with them? You got to ask yourself all those questions. And then I think that will maybe narrow down your age range. And also, what are their intentions? Because if they're real young, maybe they want to look for somebody who's more established in their career or their life or whatever. And if it's somebody that's much older than you, maybe they are looking to be a cougar. I don't know. I don't judge anyone. Whatever, you know? Date what turns you on.
Well,
I don't know.
that has its upper limits.
Yep. You know, legally attracted to.
You know, it's a good book, by the way. Recommendations. I started reading this book called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. It has like quasi-religious themes. I'm not religious, but it's based on like a number of religions. Anyway, the actual book is about basically like having awareness of yourself and therefore finding some form of enlightenment. But it's pretty gnarly and it's really good. It's been fucking me up. It's really good. I'm almost done with it, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's made me think a lot. One of the aspects of it that I liked the most was the idea of stepping outside of yourself, watching how, you know, like as a challenge to kind of see how you react to people in real time in anything, like situations you're in, conversations, or even just your reaction to anything that happens to you in general, and just kind of make note and ask why. Ask if these are even my thoughts that I'm having when I'm having these reactions. Is this my parents' thoughts? Like, am I projecting? All of these things, you're kind of like trying to become aware of who you are. And the whole book is great. So I've reread chapters like multiple times. It comes off as pretty harsh in the beginning, but I think it has so much good stuff in it. I love it. So I've been really diving into that.
When can we expect the Kickstarter for some sort of those recent panels you made for your personal project, the Starvale Universe one?
I don't know just yet. I mean, we'll see, because I don't know how everything's going to go, especially now with the tariffs. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I have to talk to my dude who handles prints for us and see if we're still doing it the same way, or how that's all going to shake out, or what the printers are thinking about. Yeah, might end up being rough.
Mm-hmm. Corbin Dallas said, Dave, is anything happening with Skull and Shark ever? I wore your shirt to Lightbox and people were wondering.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a number of things that have happened with it. It's just I haven't gone and actively acted on executing the final thing. The script was written years ago, the initial one. It was like one of the first things Dan and I worked on and we completed. And then we just weren't crazy about being able to execute the whole comic, and then just never did it after that. But I went back and read through the script. It's not terrible, but there's a lot of things I want to change. And especially having like a perspective and a better approach to doing storytelling and comics, and come at it with just a little bit of cleanup, because having it be like the first thing you ever do, it's like I would have been hyped if we just did it then and then finished it and had it not be perfect at the time. But now I'm kind of just coming back and being like, I don't want to change everything. I just want some of the themes and things to be a bit more obvious. Not that we like did them before and knew what we were doing, but themes that I recognize looking at it again. Like there's a Chris Rock bit about repeating your joke like 3 times, the premise, just to make sure that like if you are touching on like a subject, it's like you might think that everybody gets what you're talking about, but they generally don't. It's like, so you kind of have to like not be heavy-handed and not talk down to like an audience or anything, but just have it be like fleshed out and understood. So like there's a couple things like that I want to cover in the book, and we'll see how everything goes. People wanted to make it into a movie for a little while. That was a cool little detour that Skull and Shark went down.
Dave, do you currently have any clothing merch? I'm sure many would like to buy some.
No, not at the moment.
Just a bunch in our closet. Just stuff that we usually wear.
That's true.
Or the kids.
It's very true. Okay.
Dave, has starting an art house like Marco ever crossed your mind? What are the downsides to starting one up? Shit ton of work.
It's never really crossed my mind, only because I've seen other people do it, like you're saying. And just by seeing like how difficult it is, it's not something that I would ever do.
Yeah, super difficult. They work extremely hard.
They work extremely hard. You have to, it's like you're not doing as much art as you would like. You're managing people a lot of the time, as opposed to like taking on projects. And it's not like I'm just not the type of person that looks for constant growth. Like I'm not trying to always make my business like bigger and bigger and bigger and like find some grander thing to do. Like I'm content doing what I do right now. I don't need more. So I just don't care about like expanding in that way. I don't want to like grow a business so huge and then have that be all I do and then not do art anymore. It's like, fuck that.
What was the first time you were genuinely impressed with your own work?
I don't know if I've ever had a thing where I was like, "Woo, now we're talking." Like
I did that.
Did I do that? I don't think I've really ever had that moment.
Stupid.
I think like more so what's happened to me in that regard is having like major breakthroughs in my work where like it's not so much being impressed with like, whoa, that image looks cool. More like I figured that fucking technique out. Shit, that worked. Like that kind of thing happens to me. And that's the stuff where I get like excited. Like, okay, great. Like I was able to paint that texture or something like that, Mm-hmm. That's really it. Stuff like that happens sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna hop off of here. I appreciate you all hanging out this whole time. You're very kind, supportive people. This is the one I did today. I don't know what all I did during the stream. Decent amount of stuff. I didn't turn everything on enough. This is the other little guy I'm working on. This cat man. I didn't get to touch on him in the stream, but this one's also going to be the Patreon. And then this Common Riders, the other one I painted up that's going to be all layered and whatnot. So I'm just trying to do a number of these high res ones to kind of give to you all on Patreon, so I can come back, be a person, live, exist. But yeah, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back streaming next Thursday, same time. So subscribe to the channel if you like art and losers like me, and my beautiful wife Kim, who's not a loser. She's not a loser. She might like Limp Bizkit. She might be a biscuit head. She might be super excited to go and see the show, and she might have bought cargo pants for the occasion. But she is not, and I repeat, she is not a loser.
Amen.
Covered it. Thank you all. See ya.